Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel World Conflict Monitor. Please subscribe and like my videos to stay updated with the latest developments around the world. Today, we are diving into one of the boldest military actions of the war so far, an operation that has shaken Russia's confidence and disrupted its most vital supply line. We're talking about Ukraine's bold strike that destroyed what many call Putin's Crimean Lifeline. This is not just another headline, it is a major turning point in the ongoing conflict, with strategic, political, and psychological implications that go far beyond the battlefield. When we talk about the exterior, let's imagine the visible, physical front of this story. The Crimean Bridge, also known as the Kerch Bridge, stood as the grand symbol of Russian power and control over Crimea. It was built not just as a logistical link, but as a showcase of strength, an architectural statement that Russia intended Crimea to remain under its permanent grip. Its exterior grandeur was meant to intimidate and reassure at the same time. For Moscow, this bridge was both lifeline and billboard. Lifeline for its military supply lines into occupied territories, and billboard for its claim that Crimea was forever Russian. And yet, despite its exterior strength, despite the billions spent, this bold Ukrainian strike has shown the world that appearances can be deceiving, and even the most fortified structures can crumble when strategy and determination align. Now, when we move to the interior, the heart of the matter, the real core of this event, things get even more interesting. Inside this bold operation lies a combination of intelligence, planning, courage, and innovation. Ukraine's military has demonstrated not only resilience, but also adaptability. The attack wasn't a random strike. It was the product of precise targeting, advanced reconnaissance, and the use of evolving weaponry and tactics that have consistently surprised Russian forces. The interior story here also involves morale on one side, the Ukrainian people, exhausted but determined, drawing renewed energy from seeing a symbol of Russian dominance cracked open. On the other, the interior mood of Russia, where cracks in confidence are spreading, where ordinary Russians are asking why such a vital link wasn't better defended. The psychological interior is just as important as the physical one. For months, the Kremlin portrayed itself as invincible, but this strike exposed vulnerabilities right in the heart of Russia's war machine. In terms of performance, Ukraine's strike has demonstrated exceptional efficiency. The operation hit not just a bridge but also Russia's ability to supply fuel, ammunition, and reinforcements into southern Ukraine. In a conflict where logistics decide the tempo of operations, the performance of this attack has been outstanding. It wasn't just about explosions or damage, it was about timing, about hitting when the Russian military is stretched thin and needs stability more than ever. The performance of Ukrainian forces in carrying out such strikes tells us about their growing capability to challenge Russian assets far beyond the front line. They are showing the world and Moscow that Ukraine can reach deep, can strike effectively, and can disrupt the very backbone of Russian operations. Safety features in this context might sound unusual, but they play a role. Think about the measures Russia believed it had in place: radar defenses, naval patrols, protective infrastructure. These were supposed to guarantee the safety of the bridge. Yet, Ukraine's strike bypassed these safety features, exposing them as inadequate. This is important not only for the current war, but for future military planning. The safety features Russia boasted about did not live up to their promise, and that failure has been broadcast across the globe. At the same time, for Ukraine, the strike increases the safety of its own people by reducing the enemy's capacity to funnel weapons and troops into Ukrainian territory. Safety features, therefore, are no longer just about physical defenses, but about undermining the adversary's ability to harm you. The destruction of this so-called lifeline means greater security for Ukraine's southern front lines. When we look at the unique selling points of this strike, several stand out. First, symbolism. Hitting the Crimean Bridge was like striking at the heart of Putin's narrative, unraveling his image of control. Second, strategy, this wasn't a random act of destruction, but a carefully calibrated blow against Russia's logistics. Third, inspiration. The strike has rallied international opinion, showing that Ukraine is capable of more than just defense. It can launch daring, decisive offensives that change the balance of power. Fourth, innovation. Ukraine continues to surprise the world with the ingenuity of its methods, often using lower-cost technologies in highly effective ways against one of the largest militaries on Earth. Each of these unique selling points gives this operation a lasting impact, far greater than the immediate physical destruction. Price is another angle we must discuss, because every bold military operation carries a price. For Ukraine, the price has been years of struggle, loss, sacrifice, and relentless determination. Each strike is paid for in blood, in effort, and in resources, but compared to the potential cost of allowing Russia unrestricted use of the bridge, this strike is a bargain. For Russia, however, the price is enormous. Billions spent on construction, millions spent on security, and yet in a matter of moments the structure has been compromised. Add to this the political cost of humiliation, the economic cost of disrupted logistics, and the military cost of weakened supply lines, and the price tag is devastating. In war, price is not just counted in money but in credibility, and this strike has cost Russia dearly on both fronts. So, in conclusion, Ukraine's bold strike against Putin's Crimean Lifeline is more than just a tactical victory. It is a statement. It is proof that no structure, however grand, is beyond reach. It is evidence that the tide of war can be shifted not only through sheer force but through ingenuity, precision, and daring. For Ukraine, this victory boosts morale, strengthens international support, and disrupts Russian operations. For Russia, it is a blow to prestige, logistics, and confidence. And for the rest of the world, it is a reminder that wars are not won by symbols or monuments, but by the determination of people who refuse to give up. The bridge may one day be repaired, but the damage to Russia's image and confidence will not be so easily mended. This is why Ukraine's bold strike will be remembered as one of the defining moments of this war, a moment when David reminded Goliath that giants too can fall.